Welcome back. What does it say about a country when an entire family can be wiped out in the middle of the night, including a baby who had barely lived for 2 months? That is a heartbreaking question confronting Nigerians once again after another deadly attack in Plateau State. While many communities across the country continue to struggle with insecurity, residents of Kum and Weren camp in Riyom local government area woke up to unimaginable grief. According to eyewitnesses, at least 9 members of the same family, including a 2-month-old infant, were brutally killed during a late-night assault that has once again thrown Plateau into mourning. But this tragedy is about more than just another attack. It highlights a painful reality that many communities in Plateau have lived with for years. Recurring nighttime assaults, displaced families, destroyed livelihoods, and communities constantly asking the same question: when will the killings end? Although security agencies have intensified operations in several parts of Nigeria, fresh attacks continue to expose the enormous challenge of protecting vulnerable rural communities. According to The Punch, the attack occurred late on Saturday night in Kum and Weren camp communities, both located in Riyom local government area of Plateau State. Residents said heavily armed gunmen invaded the communities at about 11:30 p.m., opening fire indiscriminately and attacking homes while most people were asleep. The assault reportedly lasted for more than an hour before the attackers fled the area. One of the most devastating aspects of the attack was the loss suffered by a single household. According to residents, 9 members of one family were killed during the invasion. Among the victims was a 2-month-old baby, a detail that has deeply shocked many Nigerians following reports of the incidents. The village head of the community also sustained critical injuries and was rushed to hospital for emergency treatment. A resident identified as Precious Top described the terrifying moments when the gunmen entered the communities. According to him, the attackers arrived in large numbers and immediately began shooting in different directions, sending frightened residents running into nearby bushes in search for safety. He said screams could be heard from several houses as the attackers moved from one compound to another. Precious explained that many residents remained hidden throughout the night, unable to return until daylight because they feared the attackers might still be nearby. It was only after sunrise, he said, that survivors emerged to discover the full extent of the destruction. Families who had escaped returned home to scenes of unimaginable sorrow as they found the bodies of relatives lying inside their homes. According to Precious, the family that suffered the greatest loss lost 9 relatives during the attack. He said even the infant was not spared. Describing the incident as one of the deadliest attacks the community has experienced in recent times, his account reflects the fear and trauma that now define daily life for many rural communities affected by repeated violence. Another resident, who requested anonymity for security reasons, described the aftermath as horrifying. According to the residents, community members once again found themselves burying loved ones after another night of violence. The residents appealed to both the federal government and the Plateau State government to strengthen security, saying communities have grown tired of repeatedly fleeing into the bush whenever attackers strike. The National Publicity Secretary of the Berum Youth Molders Association, Riwan Tengwon, also confirmed the attack. According to him, the assailants deliberately chose to strike under the cover of darkness when residents were asleep and least able to defend themselves. He confirmed that 9 members of one family, including the 2-month-old infants, were killed during the assault, while the village head suffered life-threatening injuries. Tengwon called on security agencies to ensure that those responsible are identified, arrested, and prosecuted. Like many community leaders in Plateau, he expressed hope that justice will be served, while acknowledging that residents have made similar appeals after previous attacks. His comment reflects growing frustration among communities that believe violence has become a recurring pattern rather than isolated incidents. The attack has once again forced many residents to abandon their homes. As security personnel moved into the affected communities following the incident, many families reportedly remained displaced, fearing the attackers could return. For people who have experienced repeated violence, returning home often becomes a difficult decision, especially when they remain uncertain about their safety. What makes these incidents like this particularly concerning is that they continue despite ongoing military deployments and security operations in different parts of Plateau states. Over the years, several communities across the state have experienced repeated attacks that have resulted in deaths, displacements, and the destruction of property. Each new incident raises difficult questions about intelligence gathering, rapid response capabilities, and the long-term protection of vulnerable communities. As of the time this report was filed, the Plateau State Police Command had not issued an official statement confirming the details of the attack. Efforts to reach the police public relations officer, Alabo Alfred, were reportedly unsuccessful. Meanwhile, security personnel remain deployed in the affected communities as investigations continue into the circumstances surrounding the assaults. Beyond the statistics, this tragedy is about ordinary families whose life changed forever within a single night. Parents have lost children. Children have lost parents. Entire households have been erased. And a baby who had only been alive for just 2 months became one of the youngest victims of Nigeria's continued security crisis. For the survivors, the memories of that night will remain long after the gunfire has faded. The latest attack also raises another important question for Nigerian leaders. How many more communities must experience tragedies like this before lasting solutions are found? Military operations have intensified across several regions. Yet, attacks continue to occur, particularly in remote communities where response times remain difficult. Until sustainable security is achieved, many families across Plateau and other parts of Nigeria may continue living each night with the fear that their community could be next. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you find this report informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more news reports. I'm Chidera Esom. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next report.